Peace and blessings. I hope you guys are doing well. All praise to the Most High, all praise to our King Yahushua Mashiach. For without him, where would we be? Excuse me, I'm drinking a little bit of tea. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about trauma. That's my focus on my channels, is to try to bring light, which is Hamashiach, into the space of anyone who has been traumatized. Okay, because there's this belief that only certain selective people go through trauma or are dealing with trauma. You understand what I'm saying? So the worst thing that we can do is to deny that we have been traumatized, or to deny that we are dealing with trauma. That's the worst thing that we can do, because the realities that we all individually are living is a testament to that. Okay, because we are our ancestors, you understand what I'm saying, molded and shaped in iniquity. So there's not anyone who is without sin. So if you believe that you're not traumatized, then yeah, all the more reason why you need to repent. Seek his face day and night. You understand what I'm saying? And those devils need to be cast out. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is that, being inhabited by devils is not like this newly, abhorrent type of thing. This is something that has always been happening. You understand what I'm saying? Our people have loved and entertained, the fallen ones. So just stop doing what you're doing and get delivered. And all you have to do is be honest with yourself and be honest with the Most High, because he knows what you're dealing with. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning, that my channel is focused on demonic possession, getting people free from demons, using myself as an example to, shine light on, the deception of the world. You understand? Whereas the system of psychiatry as well as psychology has protected, you know, something that is not foreign knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? This is ancient, but it's not something that we don't know of. You understand? Everybody is familiar with spirits. You understand what I'm saying? Because we all are assigned demons. So you're never not going to be tempted, or you're never not going to be attacked by demons up until the day that you die, or if you don't see taste death changed. You understand what I'm saying? So that's going to be an ever-present thing. So there's one save always save mess that they're teaching in religion is counterfeit, and it should be once delivered, stay delivered. You understand what I'm saying? Because those demons are not going to stop from trying to ensue. You understand what I'm saying? And make sure that you do not accomplish what you were sent down here to accomplish. You understand? And that is the flesh. You understand what I'm saying? Hamashiach, who is the Most High Yah in the flesh, when he came down here, he only had to do it once. You understand? And showed us how to beat the flesh. Let me put this to moderate, because I don't want no weird stuff popping up. Sorry, y'all. I had to do that, but I just saw that, so let me go ahead and put it to moderate. But yeah, he had to show us just once. But in this video, I just kind of want to talk about, some things, and I do talk a lot about this. I talked about this on my other channel as well as this channel, here and there, trying to tie all this stuff in, because I am a person who has experienced trauma. You understand what I'm saying? And trauma, healing from that is not just some one-time thing and then you're just over it. That's what the so-called psychiatrists and psychologists would like you to believe, because they're obsessed with hypnosis, which is a form of sorcery, witchcraft. You understand? Trying to create a vault to hide your trauma and your pain so that you don't have to face it. You don't have to be free from demons. And you'll never end up truly seeing the light. And that's why I tell people that, once, Babylon is turned into the lake of fire, once he rains down, you understand, and brings about judgment here, you understand, you don't want to be one of those people whose soul and body gets obliterated in the lake because you were deceived. You understand? And because you wanted to live out the pleasures of your own heart, and that is to say your mind. Anytime the scriptures talks about heart, it is figuratively talking about your mind. You understand? Because that's where it starts. The kingdom is within you. They want you to believe that there is things outside of you. The best way that I can, give you an analogy is that think of it as, how the fallen ones, mad scientists, have correlated everything. The inner and outer solar systems, you understand, i.e. the planets, ETs, you understand? Like the truth doesn't get any plain than that. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just so, to me, I laugh, and I gawk at the fact that they really believe that these same tricks is somehow working. It's like, fool me once, shame on me. I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me thrice, then I don't know what the hell. You understand? So I want you to think of that analogy, because they love to focus on the stars. Always something outside of you when the kingdom is within you. You understand? Seeing is believing for a lot of us. The Most High knows that, and the rhetoric that is oftentimes being spewed, well, not often, always being spewed, is that somehow you have to see the evidence to believe it. And, that's the reason why scripture says faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen or not seen. You understand? So you're going to have to be led by the Spirit, because if the Most High showed you everything and told you and taught you, held your hand through, or down the narrow path, you understand what I'm saying? How would you really be led by the Spirit, by faith? You understand? It's by faith, but faith without works is dead. So you do have to do the works. You have to seek his face day and night. You understand? You have to be honest with yourself. You have to, have good intentions always. You understand? When you are attempting to get more knowledge, or seek more wisdom, should I say, because I don't want to twist anything. I'm gonna just keep it to what is right, and that is not wisdom. You understand? Because knowledge doesn't equate to being wise. It just means you know a lot. That doesn't mean you have understanding. I've said this before. That's the reason why they're called ascended masters, for a reason, because these fallen ones have over the epochs, they have corralled and caressed mankind's mind. And I told you that they live in the space of our imaginations. So we give them life. You understand? We give them intelligence. We give them the opportunity to reinvent themselves every generation when we allow for them to enter our vessels, and when we entertain their doctrines of devils. This is what it is. So I say all that to say that, trauma, or admitting that you're traumatized or have been traumatized, is not a bad thing. You just have to be able to, like I said, face it, stand in the mirror. Stand in your mirror. You understand? Because this is my philosophy, that we are all mirrors, either reflecting or deflecting. Which one are you doing? You see what I'm saying? Because it's easy to deflect what I'm saying, simply because you don't want to look in the mirror. I can't force you to look into the mirror. You understand? By me holding up my mirror, that is by me holding up my testimony. You understand? Which is the testimony of Hamashiach. Thus, by way of him, I am healed, and I'm still being healed. You understand what I'm saying? Because healing is not a one-time thing. I keep saying that. You understand? This is a long life journey. That's why it's called a narrow road, because there is still steps that you have to get to, just so that you can get to the finish line. You understand? To salvation. Okay? So you have to be honest with yourself. And it's not by force. I can't force you to look into the mirror. I can't force you to dig deep within yourself. That's why I encourage people to, I'm not saying be alone, but I'm saying set aside time where you can be alone. And see, that's the problem. They don't want you to be alone. Because when you're alone, there's two things that's going to happen. Either one, the Most High is going to start trying to get all that ugliness, trying to literally take you so far away from your flesh and cleanse you, or them demons gonna start attacking you. So it's either which one. Which one are you running from? You understand what I'm saying? Which one are you running from? That's all I ask. So this is a little bit of examples that I want to use and how trauma works. And this is nothing new, right? Nothing new under the sun. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this because I've taken the time out to study their psychiatry as well as their psychology. And I keep telling you guys that they have created this as a lens and a means to try to protect the fact that we are literally dealing with animating spirits. That is to say, demonic forces, right? Spiritual wickedness in high places, and that's just really what it is. You understand? So you can be one of those people who wants to believe in your hearts of hearts that you're not inhabited by devils. Well, it's easy for that because once you give up your faculty of reasoning seat and you go ahead and give it to these demons by way of the pleasures of this world, your flesh, your beast nature, when you do that, absolutely, there's no way that you're going to have any type of real conscience of what you're doing or even care. You understand? You're not going to be cognizant of that because all that you're going to care about is what you see. What you see, it's what you get, right? So you guys know of The Wizard of Oz, okay? And I want to say this. Let me give a disclaimer. Anytime that I say things like this, or anytime that I bring this up, I just want you to understand that I'm not being sexist and I'm not in any way, shape, or form being misogynistic. You understand? This is just really what it is. The truth is in the pudding. Okay? Satan loves to put the woman on a pedestal because he'll never put Adam on a pedestal. You understand? He'll always put Eve on a pedestal. But the truth is that he hates Eve too. Thus, the reason why he exploits her, but celebrates her at within the same token. But the exploitation comes from the fact that she was the one that was beguiled, and you understand, and the fact that she still was created by the Most High through Adam, out of Adam, i.e. Adam, A-D-A-M, or Atom, A-T-O-M. You understand what I'm saying? So Adam was created by the Most High, just like the hosts of heaven, that is to say the angels and everything that exists in it, was also created by the Most High. So you see the jealousy, you understand, and the envy and hatred that Satan has for the Most High's children. You see what I'm saying? His true children, you understand? But nonetheless, all of the races have, or quote unquote races, or should I say nationalities, have come through Eve's gates. You understand? The matrix. That is the womb. And it says that in Exodus. You can go and read that. So all of the nationalities have come through the gates of Eve. You understand? And that's why he celebrates her, because she, Lilith, or Siren, you know, she was beguiled and she was willing. You understand? And she saw him beautiful. She saw him, you know, glamorous, and she was misled. And, you know, he screwed her, and that's how he got his seed through. Because once again, that's why they're focused on the heavens, because the fallen knows that they'll never get into heaven. So Satan thinks that he can get, you know, his seed into heaven. You know, that's what he wants. You know, he's a mimic and a mocker at the same time. He's a mimicker and a mocker at the same time. He is the jester. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he does. So I want people to understand that. You know, so anytime you see Eve being depicted throughout these movies, you have to understand that it's because Eve was misled in the garden. It's because through her womb, his children were able to sprout. You get what I'm saying? His children were able to sprout. And through Eve, you know, but of course, Adam came death, you know, because with that, she allowed for him to be partakers of the same tree. That is to say, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which was Satan. You understand? Because they had not known sin. They had not even known or realized the top heaviness of immortality, that they were already immortal. You understand? We didn't need to eat animals or anything like that then. That didn't happen until Adam did what he did. You know, up until Adam did what he did. And then thus Satan's spawn, which is Cain, came through, and then thus bloodshed. Then, okay, we have animals, and we have to have dominion over them and things like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, anytime you see the woman being displayed like that, Eve, right? Whether she's black or white, you understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the leprosy depiction of Eve is nothing more than just the figurative um, essence of what Eve did. That's her lower nature. That's why I always attribute that to Lilith, because Lilith is a dualistic nature of, that is to say, the spirit man and the flesh man, right? It wrestles against each other. So Lilith is the flesh man of Eve, which is her lower self, her beast self, her flesh self. You understand what I'm saying? So anytime that they show the leprosy or albino Eve, you understand what I'm saying? That's giving life to Satan, because he loves to, you know, celebrate his children. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just what the Most High has allowed anyways, because, you know, mankind has basically made it their duty to practice sin, and they love it over the epochs. Even though he's trying to cleanse it, he's trying to perfect us, you understand, and give us chances after chance after chance to show that we can get back to the garden, that we are worthy enough to be spared. You understand? To be perfected and dwell with him in holiness and righteousness forever. You understand? We have to prove that. You know, thus the realities that we all individually have to live. I keep saying that. I cannot stress that enough. Okay? So you see all these things play out when it comes to Dorothy. And when it comes to Alice in Wonderland. The reason why I have to do those parallels is because it's the same. It's nothing different. You understand? And Dorothy, it's interesting because Dorothy was a little girl. And Alice was a little girl, you know. But the thing is that in the movies, they always depict them being a little bit older. They always cast, you know, older actresses to play these roles, because in actuality, you know, the books, these are literally kids, you know, who are in hell. Dorothy was in hell, and they tried to make it seem like as if, you know, she was in Emerald City going to see Oz, okay? And I'm going to get into that, what Oz is, you know, and what that means of how they, you know, which is clearly Satan, you understand what I'm saying? Going back to where she started, Eve going back to Satan, you understand what I'm saying? And all of these things that she encountered, the whole Munchkin Land thing, you know, that is like a dead giveaway to the giants, the spawns, dwarfs, and leprechauns, and all of those mythical Old Norse, Celtic, you know, beasts. These are all relative to Satan's spawns. You understand what I'm saying? So it just gives more credence to that. You see what I'm saying? And they love to create J-June tunes and luminous colors to try and captivate the soul essence of what your child is, and that's innocence. You understand what I'm saying? So I caution all the parents out there, you know, you should have been watching and paying attention to what your child is being exposed to. If you're not, you understand what I'm saying? Because these people don't give a damn. They're raping. There's many forms of rape, because I think that people, they have that, you know, misconception that, you know, rape is only just bodily trauma. No. Rape, you can be raped all types of ways, okay? You can be raped spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just really where it is. Rape is a multi-dimensional traumatic act, if you will. You understand what I'm saying? So let me get into this. I just want to, and you guys know the story, but I just want to kind of break it down and, you know, juxtapose this with the trauma that a lot of people are experiencing. You understand? And you may be that person who does not believe that you experience trauma, or you're comparing it to somebody else's reality of trauma. Like, oh, well, that never happened to me, so I don't know how to relate. You understand? But at the end of the day, you are traumatized. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here on this earth. You're just pretending. You understand what I'm saying? You don't want to face it. You understand? And the fallen has got your mind warped, and you're on a carousel circus cycle. You know, believing that this is your life and you're comfortable with it, so you don't mind coming back, which is not going to be no coming back. This is going to be it. Like, if you don't get it in this generation right now, this is it. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to be obliterated, your body and soul. And that's just it. The Land of Oz is a magical country introduced in the 1900 children's novel The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, written by L. Frank Baum. He was a Mason, by the way, because we already know that. And illustrated by W. W. Denslow. Oz consists of 4 vast quadrants: the Gillikin country in the north, Quadling country in the south, Munchkin country in the east, and Winkie country in the west. Okay, so that, gives life to the 4 corners of the earth. You understand what I'm saying? You know how they do. Each province has its own ruler, but the realm itself has always been ruled by a single monarch. According to the marvelous land of Oz, this monarch is Princess Ozma. There we go with the whole female heroine type of thing, right? Or female goddess type of divine feminine energy crap. You understand? That's what that always is. I keep telling you, Satan's going to always put Eve on a pedestal to celebrate her, but to also mock her. You understand? Because he don't like her either. He don't love her, but he laid with her. And by way of that, his children came through the gates. Okay? Did not intend for The Wonderful Wizard of Oz to have any sequels, but it achieved greater popularity than any of the fairylands he created, including the land of Maryland in Baum's children's novel Dot and Tot in Maryland, written a year later, blah, blah, blah. This guy, hold on, folks, where is he at? Is a Mason. Let me just go to his name. Sorry, y'all. I promise you I'm not trying to make this video long, but it probably will be long. But yeah, this is him. See? You see the picture? There he is. There he is. Huh? We make it big, huh? Yep, this is him. Big time Mason. Big time Mason. And of course we know that he was a pedophile. Absolutely. Because only a pedophile will talk about the rape of children. You understand what I'm saying? Only a pedophile does that and celebrates that, like as if it's a good thing. The subversion of child development. And one thing you need to understand is that when they depict these children in movies, the reason why they cast older people is because this has already been revealed to me, that I argue that when a child innocence is taken away from them, that is to say, when they're raped, especially more than once, because they like to do that. Okay. Forced trauma, especially bodily trauma, okay, it manipulates child development, not in a good way, meaning that it advances the maturity level in a child, okay? And that's the reason why you end up seeing a lot of children who have, I can always tell if a child's been molested or if they haven't. You can always tell. It's the spirit that they carry. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just the essence. You just know. Hurt knows hurt. You see what I'm saying? And they end up looking mature, way more mature than their age. You understand? This is the reason why with sex slaves and sex trafficking, you understand, a lot of these men and women who are sleeping with these children, they end up looking older, but they still have the mind of a child. You understand? Because that was taken away from them. But to some level, they had to mature. They were forced to mature faster because of, the unfortunate circumstances that they were dealt with, And this is what's so sad about that, So when you see that play out in the movies, in the children books, it's obvious that these are children. But in the movies, that's the enemy playing tricks on people's minds, making it think like, oh, you don't really have sympathy for these kids because you're like, oh, okay, this is a grown woman. Like, she should already know, or he should already know what's up. You know what I mean? It doesn't allow for the that moral compass to kick in, or that compassion, should I say, that compassion to kick in for these people who have been traumatized, because that's really what it is. You're blinded by the glitz and the glam of what you see, the attractive actors and actresses in the movies and the colors, the production, thing, so that's just really what I want to embolden. You know what I mean? let me go a little bit deeper about, kind of like what would happen. Okay, so look, listen to this. This is a summary of it. You guys know the story if you don't, but I just want you to see this. Dorothy is a young girl who lives in a one-room house in Kansas with the careworn Uncle Henry and Aunt Em. The joy of her, and see, this is the thing. Why don't she, see, and they don't say this, see, but I want to know, why isn't Dorothy with her parents? You see what I'm saying? Okay, that's a red flag to me as a reader. You see, because I study language and I study literature just for fun. And I am a writer, you understand what I'm saying? So I study lingo, I study linguistics on my own. I didn't have to go to school for that. Only because I embarked, like I said, on that, because I want to know, you understand, what's happening around me and as it pertains to my reality. You see what I'm saying? I want to know what these people are doing. I want to know what these people have done. You understand? So I do not walk in the same ways and repeat the past. So that's a dead giveaway for me, a red flag. Why isn't Dorothy with her parents? Why is she with her aunt and uncle? See, they leave the readers to have to fill in holes like that. But thus, black holes. The joy of her life is her dog. They always have an animal, and this is what I also want to, let me pause for a minute. Okay, they always love to bring animals into this, okay? Because the thing is that an animal, it has, like I said, multi-dimensional meanings, especially when they're putting this into their literature, when they're putting this into their movies. It has multi-dimensional meanings, okay? The animals always represents, it can represent slaughter, it can represent the beast nature, the lower nature of man. You understand what I'm saying? It can represent bestiality, all those type of things. You understand what I'm saying? It can represent foolish nature because animals do not have knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have intellect. You understand what I'm saying? All they know is that they need to eat, they need to reproduce, and they need to not get killed as it pertains to the apex, chain of command. Toto, oh, well, hold on, let me stop. That was the name of the dog, so we know that. I want to make this parallel. Okay, so this is the guy, Carol Lewis, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, which actually he got inspired to write this book based off of Alice, who was one of, I guess, one of his comrades or linguistics, someone he admired. It was one of his daughters. He got inspired to write that book off from her. So that makes you think about that too. That's really weird. Because Alice was a very young girl. She's a little girl. And even in the book, she's depicted as a little girl. Okay. Look, the story centers on Alice, a young girl who falls asleep in a meadow and dreams that she follows the white rabbit down a rabbit hole. See, I told you, them animals, yeah, they always got to be animals. And you see, like I said, it represents the foolish nature of mankind, which is their beast, their lower self. You understand? The flesh, the foolish, the blind. You understand? Leading the blind. You understand what I'm saying? And some people might argue, oh, well, it's not these kids' fault or anyone else's fault that they were molested. So why is it that they have to get demons? Listen, you can't argue that with me. You understand what I'm saying? That is a question that you need to be asking the Most High. And you need to be trying to figure out, because I understand everything as it pertains to my reality. I'm not saying that I have it figured out, but I have it figured out for my reality and how I need to overcome this. You need to figure it out for yourself, because my reality is not yours and your reality is not mine. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I keep telling you that the rabbit is symbolically, like I said, the foolish nature. Okay, the foolish hare. You understand? The white rabbit. You understand? Still represents slaughter. It represents bestiality. It represents the lower nature of mankind. You understand what I'm saying? Being foolish. Being led down the dark path. The broad path. You understand? Which leads it to destruction. And this is why I've taken the time out to really, like I said, put this stuff together for you guys. You understand what I'm saying? It says follow the white hare rabbit down the rabbit/hellhole. You understand what I'm saying? Because each reality that we're living, we are living in we're trying to overcome our trauma, because what Satan wants to do is reinforce that trauma upon us. You understand? Through the generations, he wants to reinforce that trauma upon us. You understand? Oh, that's all he is an accuser, right? Day and night, day and night, day and out. That's all he does, is on the prowl, seeking whomever he can devour. That's what he does, you see. And those who will lend their vessels to his ear, you understand, or to his command, will be inhabited. You see what I'm saying? And Satan is a spirit. Him and the Most High are vying for souls. That's literally what it is. Satan wants to prove to the Most High that he can, in fact, manipulate and, like I said, corral and keep man in a carousel circus cycle, and that mankind was never supposed to be created in the first place. See, he wants to prove that. You understand? Because he knows that he screwed up. You understand what I'm saying? Big time. And that's what he wants to do. Perpetual sin in the space of darkness. And I keep telling you guys that. When it comes to duality, when it comes to multiverse, right? That's really what it is. Being in an ever space of darkness. That's hell. You understand? A reality of hell. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what this is. This is a learning experience. The Most High, like I said, we have to prove to him that we can exist or coexist in the space of holiness, that of which where he exists, with Hamashiach, because, of course, the Most High is Hamashiach. You understand what I'm saying? But he is still the Most High and still Hamashiach at the same time. Why man can't grasp that? Because our ways are not his ways. And you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure that out. So yeah, that's really what it is. So let me continue with Dorothy. The animals, they always love to worship animals. That's why you've seen that throughout generations. Civilizations have worshipped animals. You understand? And even the whole cat thing. The Egyptians love to have temple cats besprinkled all over, that wicked nation, because, excuse me, sorry y'all, gassing, how they do. They had temple cats besprinkled across that whole entire nation, because not only could these fallen entities inhabit human vessels by way of you giving up your dominion, right, and giving confirmation to them, but they can also inhabit animal vessels. You understand what I'm saying? And it'll be easier to inhabit those vessels because they have no means on where it comes to choice. And like I said, they don't have any intellect, or any type of faculty, seat of reasoning to choose to not allow for the vessel to be used. You understand what I'm saying? So those are easy operative vessels that they can take control over. So that's why the cats are always depicted. And they use cats often because the cats, their eyes, when they dilate, you understand, like that, it's because the cats can see the spirits. The cats can see the spirits. And the dogs can hear the frequency, thus the dog whistle. Okay, so the dogs can hear the frequency, and the cats can see the nimbus. They can see the auras, and they can see the spirits. That's why their eyes are dilate. They dilate like that. And then the whole reptiles and stuff is a whole nother thing. But yeah, that's why they use cats. You understand? They always put this emphasis on cat's eye. Even in New Age, they like to wear stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that type of thing. They're temple watchers. They're like watchers. That the fallen use, which are monitoring spirits. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, that whole thing. It says, a sudden cyclone strikes, and by the time Dorothy catches Toto, she is unable to reach the storm cellar. Notice how she follows the dog. You see what I'm saying? You see how they mock this once again. You see how Satan loves to mock Eve. He loves to exploit Eve. He loves to remind Eve about how dumb she was for falling for his tricks. and, being sexed by him. You understand what I'm saying? But also being put at the forefront because he's, like I said, he's not going to glorify Adam. He hates Adam. You understand? And that's the reason why I say that, it's interesting to see a lot of these biological women sit up here and fall prey to these doctrines of devils. You understand? Because he shows his hate through the fact that he'll put, in most of the movies that we see being produced, he'll put castratis or castratos, that is to say transformers, at the forefront. People who are parading themselves around with this false identity that they are, in fact, biological women when they're not. You understand what I'm saying? So that's an easy dead giveaway that he hates you. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's willing to use, a mutilated man, dress him up from head to toe, and put him at the forefront, and parade him around like as if he's an actual biological woman, when in fact he's not. You understand what I'm saying? So that just, like I said, that still gives credence to the idea that he still will celebrate Eve, but also he will exploit her because he hates her. Okay? But it just goes to show you, look how foolish that is. Why would Dorothy follow a damn dog into a cyclone? You see how mad that is? And you see the mockery in that? And that's what's going on today too. You see that happening today with a lot of people. You understand? With animal rights? Are you kidding me? And scriptures alone tell us that a human life is more valued over an animal life. He told you that. That our lives is more important than an animal. You understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, an animal gonna get fed. At the end of the day. That's ridiculous. You see the madness. You see the madness. She is unable to reach the storm cellar. They are still in the house when the cyclone carries it away for a long journey. Notice that they didn't mention Aunt Em. They didn't mention Uncle Henry. Nobody. It was just her house, right? That was taken up. Makes you think about, all of that. The whirlwind. Remember Philip being taken up and all that. It's just sick. Translated. You know how Satan plays with people's minds. On a long journey, when at last the house lands, Dorothy finds that she is in a beautiful land inhabited by very short, strangely dressed people, which is Satan's spawns. That is the dwarfisms, the leprechauns, all that type of stuff, right? That is that. Because through selective breeding, okay, over the epochs, as we know, if we go back to the beginning, Book of Enoch / Genesis or Genesis / Enoch, however way you want to set that up. We'll just say Genesis because that's the beginning of the genealogy. Okay, so Genesis / Enoch, right? You reference that and you hear that, the fallen had made it with the daughters of Eve and they bore giants. So through selective breeding over the epochs, even after the flood, they still were able to get their seed through to their bodies got smaller is what I want to say. Their bodies got smaller and they became what they were today. So they actually have vessels that they can go in and out to, which are portals. You understand? They can use upon command because these people already have their DNA. You understand what I'm saying? Which is why, thus, the disillusionment that they're saturated in. You understand? They don't believe any of that. They believe that they are the chosen, right? They believe that they have the Holy Spirit. And I got to keep telling people that the Holy Spirit, listen, there's many Holy Spirits. You can go and read Hebrews from that, okay? So that's why I say I don't really cue into that. That's why I say if you don't have the Most High Spirit, that is to say HaMashiach dwelling within you. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's multiple Holy Spirits. You have holy ministering spirits. You understand? So to say, oh, I have the Holy Spirit is, I feel like, a cop-out in a way for as a religion standpoint. They love to say that, oh, I'm sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. They love to say that and play on that. You understand what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean anything because there's a counterfeit spirit that they're wearing. They bore giants. You understand what I'm saying? And over, like I said, through selective breeding, this is what they have become. They have actual bodies now, okay, that are fit in stature, You understand what I'm saying? That's fit in measurements and dimensions and things like that. So that's why they blend in so well. Okay. The witch of the north, okay, informs her that she is in the land of munchkins, who are grateful to her for having killed the wicked witch. Here we go with the heroine. I keep telling you that. Eve being that heroine, right? Of the east. The house having landed on the witch. So it's, and I keep telling you, anytime that they show, women in, like, through, like, multiple women in throughout movies like this, or just period, they're just different versions. That is to say, generations. You understand what I'm saying? Or mythical adaptations of Eve. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it comes down to that. It comes down to the enchantment that she experienced. Thus, she enchanted Adam. You see, she would have known that. She would have known how to enchant if she did not, if she was not beguiled by Satan. If Satan did not come to her and, excuse me, you guys. If Satan did not appear to her as this beautiful, person, you understand? That was enchantment. So he taught her that instantly. It was instantaneously. You see what I'm saying? She was made known. That's why he said their eyes were open. You understand? Because they had known evil. But now they have wisdom. That is to say, knowledge. You understand? And they had understanding that what they had done was wrong. But you understand, they didn't realize how disobedient that was and how bad it was. You see what I'm saying? So anytime that they show women like that, they just show, it goes back to Eve. It's just different versions of generations, and it all gives, like I said, life to the idea that Eve was beguiled, she was enchanted, thus she enchanted Adam, and throughout history, you don't understand what I'm saying, witchcraft, all by thy sorceries were many nations to see. That's what the scripture says. Okay. Gives Dorothy the silver shoes. Okay, because in original, the book, there's silver shoes. That's why in The Wiz, they stayed true to, and this, see, Black Mama, White Mama, okay? Y'all remember that with Pam Grier, and I can't remember the other actress, but I remember Pam Grier was in that. Black Mama, White Mama, that is like a perfect, depiction and a perfect adaptation of first Eve and then daughter Eve. That is to say, Lilith, from a figurative standpoint in the flesh. You understand what I'm saying? Figuratively made literal. You understand what I'm saying? Eve's lower nature, that of which Satan, because we already know how they tainted the bloodline, okay? So there's no need to go into that. You understand? People can try to do that all they want. You understand? This is why that whole thing with animals, the evolution is a thing, because the truth is that, it's still, like I said, it gives light to the fact that that is relative to our lower nature, the beastly nature. Okay? So yeah, in The Wiz, they stayed true and they kept the slippers silver, okay? Which is platinum. I won't go into the whole color coded thing. I did post some stuff about colors. So you can go and you can find that on my community if you want to. But I'm not going to do that. I didn't make videos about that, about primary colors, tertiary/secondary colors, that type of thing, and how that ties into that. But I want you to understand something. Just because Emerald City was green, that's not a good thing. And the yellow brick road, because yellow, as we know, is a primary color, okay? And green is a tertiary color by way of blue and yellow mixed together, okay? But I want you to understand that green, in this sense, this context, and the yellow together is representative of bile. Yellow is relative to sulfur. You understand what I'm saying? Green is still bile. You understand what I'm saying? It's still bile. Okay? And of course, money is the root of all evil. Green money, glitz and glam, shiny, shimmering, blindness. You understand what I'm saying? It still represents all of that, on the nose stuff. And black mama, white mama, first Eve, second Eve, or to say daughter Eve. You understand what I'm saying? Just like I said, generations, generations. But they kept the slippers silver in the whiz. Okay, they kept the slippers silver in the whiz. You understand? And this was very significant, the whiz, because, and I think it's interesting how they allowed for them to go ahead and adapt their version of it. You understand? And it was a lot more hip. You understand what I'm saying? Down in the ground. You understand what I'm saying? It was dancing, and it just was completely different. You understand? But it just goes to show you. You understand that is what happened first. You know what I'm saying? Eve was misled. You understand? And she opened the door. They came through the gates. You see? No, I wanted to go to that picture of Alice. Here it is. No, that's still the Wonderful Wizard. Oh, okay, look. I'm glad I pulled this up. Okay, so, like I was saying, in the book versions, they're children. You see this? Look at Dorothy. That is clearly a kid. Okay? That is clearly a kid. So you have to ask, why would they cast a woman to play a kid? You understand what I'm saying? I just want you to understand where I'm going with this, okay? And they always like to appeal to children through animals. Thus, stuffed animals, you understand what I'm saying? All that type of thing, you know? It just goes to show you that. And to me, this little person, and she's even green on here. You understand? She's even green. Like, remember Gamora off of Guardians of the Galaxy? She was not green for nothing. Green represents bile. That's not a good thing. I'm saying in those contexts that they put them in, it's not. It just represents sin, filthiness. You understand what I'm saying? And take Shrek, for instance. Ogre. He was an ogre, right? Shrek. That still gives life to the idea of Satan's spawns. You understand? All those ogres, orcs, and giants, all that stuff. Okay, we already know this, so I'm just like, I don't understand how this stuff is lost upon people, and they can't picture this stuff, and then you got your children watching this stuff, and you wonder why they acting the way that they are, and then you get mad at us for trying to point this out. Your child is being spiritually raped, mentally, spiritually. They're being educationally raped. You understand? Thus, the reason why that stuff is manifesting in them at such a young age, and you can't stop that. Well, I'm saying you're having a hard time to stop it because you can stop it if you are to raise your child up in the right way. And that's just what I'm saying, though. This clearly looks like a damn dwarf to me. This does not look like, it looks like a little girl, and that's how they've shown her, but she's green. And that's the reason why I say she looks like a dwarf. Okay? And all of that is genetic mutation. Okay? Selective breeding. It is. And that's just really what it is. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and try to pretend, you know what I mean? Just because people want to be wet behind the ears, I'm not going to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Enchantment. You see what I'm saying? Look at this. Emerald City. Enchantment. Yellow. It's not blue. You understand? But let me get back to them slippers, okay? They were silver in the original, the book, because that's what we were on. It says silver shoes of the dead witch, and advises her to go to the city of emeralds to see the great Wizard of Oz. And basically, anytime you see stuff like that, it's like you think about in scriptures how Elijah or Eliyahu gave Elisha asked for a double portion of Elijah's spirit. And you talk about the mantle spiritually being put on somebody else, right? You think about that, and that is a form of generational, because I want people to understand that the scriptures are so vast. It's limitless. It's the word. It never dies, right? That it lives forever. And not only that, but it's plasticity in the scriptures. And I say that to say that when you read it once, line upon line, here a little, there a little, right? Precept on precept. Line upon line, here a little, there a little. When you do that, you get more deeper understanding, right? You get a deeper understanding of it. And the reason why is because the scriptures, like I said, it has plasticity. So it's we're literally, the Most High has allowed us into the world of his mind. That's what uni stands for, universe, right? And I'm going to get to that Oz thing, and I'm going to close it because I know I've been going on, but I just want you guys to understand how trauma works. That this girl was traumatized, and that's just that. But plasticity is like a limitless type of thing. That's how it is with dreams too, and visions. There's plasticity in dreams. Things are blended together. You understand what I'm saying? Spirits, all that type of stuff. So I've taken the time out to really study this, to really hearken to the Most High's command, and to study this stuff. You understand? But like I said, there's things that I can reveal. There's things that I cannot, because we are to keep Satan's seed in darkness. So I'm not about to give you an upper hand. You understand what I'm saying? Even though you're not going to get the upper hand, but I'm not going to give your children whom you're using, you understand, the upper hand, and try to use that as a means for whatever it is. But I want you to see that connection though, where they end up giving her the slippers. So it's still Eve. You understand what I'm saying? The wicked witch of the east. You understand? And that still gives life to Ashtoreth, queen of the stars. Queen Mother of the Stars, right? That type of thing. Rhiannon, goddess, I keep telling you, the divine so-called feminine energy, all that type of stuff. It's still relative to Satan, because even if you look up those deities, these women are still, they have both parts. So it's just like, I don't understand how you real women are caught up in that witchcraft sorcery stuff and y'all worshiping that. Do you not know that they are exploiting the hell out of you, and they hate you at the fact that they would literally put a man, mutilate him, and have him masquerade around as a biological woman? Man, oh man, oh man. How the world has fallen, right? And, that's what that was, the slippers. Basically that mantle being given to her. And, it's like through the space of trauma, that is to say sin. You understand? Oh, well, how is it sin when that person didn't ask to be touched inappropriately or be raped inappropriately, that type of thing? Well, it's still sin. You understand? Even though the person did not commit the sin, it's still sin. It's being put in a space of sin. So, like I said, when that happens, your vessel becomes vulnerable to these demons that's already assigned to you anyways, to ensure that you don't succeed in having a good quality of life, or a good quality of a spiritual life through Hamashiach, that you'll never get back to the garden. They are there to ensure that. They want to prove to the Most High that mankind is not worth saving. You understand what I'm saying? That we're just the same. That we're nothing. We're trash. We're just like them. That's in fact what they want to try to prove to the Most High. You see? So that's what you see. You see the mantle, or should I say a mantle in a sense, being passed on to Dorothy. You see, that's why she's wearing the slippers. And that's all Masonic. You know what I'm saying? It's all Masonic in how they do, with trauma. Because only through trauma will you be able to be inhabited by these same familiar spirits that our ancestors entertained. Thus the reason why they still live on to plague the generations throughout the epochs. When that happens, you understand, especially when it comes to this context. You get what I'm saying? With the whole Freemasonic thing, becoming a witch, becoming a warlock, or whatever the case may be, as it pertains to that gender and their reality, the only way they can get you is by way of trauma. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that you can become one of them and not be touched. There's no way. You understand? There's no way. No way at all. This is how they operate. Okay, in this space of sin, this space of trauma. And the system of psychiatry, they like to hide that, because they want to make it believe, oh, well, it's just mental health. And you can hypnotize someone, or, they like to make you these days celebrate your trauma, where you will end up, being put in a state, well, you're not in a state of forgetfulness. Really, you just, like I said, they will create this vault for you to go ahead and put all your trauma in and lock it away, where you don't have to face it, and you can go and live life the way that you want to live your life. You understand? This is how that works. Thus freeing them. See how she's the heroine? The Witch of the North gives Dorothy the silver shoes of the dead, which and advises her to go to the City of Emeralds to see the Great Wizard of Oz, right? So she can so-called get back home, but along the way, she's being enchanted. You understand what I'm saying? She's meeting all these, weird, which was demons in disguise. That's why they are in costumes. You understand, these caricatures, and they're mocking and mimicking this woman or this little girl, woman in the film, little girl in the book. You understand? They're mimicking this little girl along her way and letting her know, like, she's being raped. And as a result, she developed so many different so-called mental health diseases. MPD. She developed DID. You understand what I'm saying? And it's so much that was happening. So much that was happening. The only way that can happen is by way of trauma. Okay, demons, but psychiatry will say that it's not demons, that it's in fact, they'll admit that it's because of trauma and that you need to face it and deal with it, but they want you to face and deal with the trauma in the sense to celebrate it, thus still keeping the spirits fed within you, never being delivered. That's why I said that once saved, always saved crap. Don't. It should be delivered. Once delivered, stay delivered. Because those same demons are not going to stop from trying to inhabit your vessel. Because they feel like they were doing it before and they can still do it. To see the Great Wizard of Oz, who might help her return to Kansas, the witch sends Dorothy off along the yellow brick road with a magical kiss enchantment to protect her from harm, right? So then she goes and she meets all these different people, right? These caricatures, right? And all these people are the spirits, these demonic entities. That's why they're in disguise, costume, right? Wolves in sheep's clothing. There we go. Wolves in sheep's clothing. That's exactly what it is. You understand? But it's just, like I said, it gives life to the layers of trauma, how bad it is, because trauma is generational as well. So just think, you know what I mean? It's passed on, information passed on from one cell to the next. Deja vu, is a thing as well. And I argue that deja vu is nothing more but memories from the past, which is from the ancestors, because that's passed on. Trauma is passed on. Think about it. What happened with slavery? That stuff got passed on to us as well, because we never received any real healing because our people kept on doing the same thing. You understand? So on and so forth with other nations and bloodlines. You understand? It's the same thing. Let me jump to Alice. I want to show this parallel. So I want you guys to see this real quick. It says down the rabbit hole. She has many wondrous, often bizarre adventures with thoroughly illogical and very strange creatures, often changing size unexpectedly, shape-shifting that of course that gives life to, once again, spirits taking on many forms. She grows as tall as a house and shrinks to 3 inches. Look at that. She encounters the hookah smoking caterpillar, right? Drugs, psychedelics, and that type of thing is being pushed heavily and celebrated and entertained throughout this whole entire book. You understand? Thus, how she was drugged and used. You understand? As a how she was used as an MK Ultra mind slave victim, raped beyond measure. It says she encounters the hookah smoking caterpillar, the Duchess, with a baby that becomes a pig. Here we go with the pig slaughter. See, that was a dead giveaway. And if you read the book and seen the adaptation, you'll see when she went into that house, she was yelling, they was sneezing because it was all of the pepper that she was putting in the pot. She was getting ready to brew a stew to put the baby in. So that was literally cannibalism. And it shows and gives life also to their Freemasonic shit, how these people, these witches and warlocks, love to drink adrenochrome, how they love to kill babies and eat them and all that. Okay? It's a dead giveaway. I don't understand. This is not a children's book. Okay? And neither is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And he went on, Baum went on to write 13 continuations to that. Okay? So it just goes to show you the many layers of trauma as it is experienced throughout the generations. if that makes sense. And the Cheshire Cat, and she attends a strange endless tea party with the Mad Hatter, dead giveaway, Mad, and the March Hare. Now, there's a passage in the book where after she leaves the Duchess house with the hollering baby that she's about to cook, on her way, she keeps encountering this Cheshire Cat and keeps smiling because the cat is literally her, not necessarily her good conscience. It was supposed to be her good conscience, but also literally still mocking her. Thus, cat. Remember, I keep talking about the cat, the monitoring spirits that they send, right? So the cat always had a smile because it was always laughing like, damn, like, little girl, you ain't gonna figure this stuff out. We giving you signs and wonders, and you just not gonna figure this out. The cat tells her that we're mad. He's like, no, the cat says, you're mad. And she's like, what? I'm not mad. This is what she said. She's like, I'm not mad. And he's like, yeah, you are. Look around. We're all mad. So that was literally a telltale sign that she was in hell. And that she couldn't unbelieve that. Because how can a child understand, that level of trauma when it's been enacted that many times upon them? Or when it's been inflicted upon them that many times? And she attends a strange tea party with the Mad Hatter and the March Hare. There we go, with the hair, right? She plays a game of croquet with an unimaginable flamingo for a croquet mallet and uncooperate hedgehogs for croquet balls, while the queen calls for the execution of almost everyone present. Later at the queen's behest, the griffin talks Alice to meet the sobbing mock turtle. Listen to this, mock turtle. See, they mocking. Who describes his education in such subjects as ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision. Come on, it don't get no plain than that. Alice is then called as a witness in the trial of Knave of Hearts, who is, and that really should be Naive of Hearts, because that's what they're playing off of, the naivety of this child, who is accused of having stolen the queen's tarts. However, candy, right? And I keep telling you, like, anytime they mention, like, they're showing all that, remember the edible, those are all edibles, psychedelics. She was drinking alcohol, all of that to try to remedy the problems that she was experiencing. You see what I'm saying? And I don't understand how people don't understand this. This is not a children's book. However, when the queen demands that Alice be beheaded, Alice realizes that the characters are only a pack of cards, and she then awakens from her dream. You see what I'm saying? In the space of trauma, they encourage, that is to say, the system of psychiatry, they love to encourage you to create this world. And what naturally happens is that it's just like when the lights go out of a vessel, right? Whatever that is. It can be a ship. It can be a house. It can be a car, right? There's a backup generator that kicks in to power up everything, right? It's just like that. When in the space of trauma, when your lights go out or is put out, that is to say your innocence, when it is put out, what ends up happening is that naturally the Most High, how he has the brain wired is that the brain will try to, and this is when the enemy slips in, okay, the brain will try to safeguard itself, to protect itself from self-destruction and annihilation. So it's going, the best thing that it can do is to suppress it, to shut it out. So that's the backup generator, is the false light, the lynx cat. You understand? The false sense of seeing the truth. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what ends up happening. So the mind is going to naturally safeguard itself to stop itself from going into self-annihilation or from powering down from death. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the reason why the Most High allows that to happen, because you're going to have to face it. You see? And some may argue, oh, well, how can a child face that? Well, anything is possible through the Most High. He said, is there anything that's too hard for me? So that's that. Okay. And I've posted stuff about this, and this, like I said, just also gives life to the fake shimmer, a faint tremulous light, the older noun shimmering, a gleam of shining, right? Shine, and then you see all of these other flattering spirits. And I want you guys to understand that. And I'm gonna get to Oz in a minute, right? Shimmy, dancing with the devil, do a suggestive dance, perhaps via phrase, shake the shimmy. You understand? So it's just to show you, you know what I mean, things that I put together these definitions, because like I said, the truth is in their language. They gonna tell you what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? Flatter, submission, seek to please or gratify someone by undue praise, insincerely, beguile with pleasing words, thus Eve, hello, to deceive, and Adam, caress, fondle, prostrate, throw, fling to the ground. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now, I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. Y'all, I cannot make it up, okay? Monkey shines. Look at that. Give credence to the idea, evolution, the monkey, all that stuff. I'm telling you, like, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding, okay? And this is just another way, like I said, the host, this is the plot of how these demons take over the vessel or its host. A human on the run, Melanie Strider, notice Stride, is captured. And that's what that is, like Alice, Dorothy, running away from their trauma. And that's the reason why they're forever in a state of, like I said, this carousel circus cycle. Because they never want to face what they truly are in the mirror and to deal with it. You see what I'm saying? You have to conquer your beast nature. You have to conquer that. And this is just generality. I only use that as an example just to show you, what happens in the space of trauma. And you don't have to be raped, like I said, bodily rape to be traumatized. Trauma, like I said, is generational regardless. And if you are not traumatized, there will be no need for you to be here. You understand what I'm saying? Strider is captured and infused with a soul called Wanderer, whom a seeker soul has asked to access Melanie's memories and learn the location of a pocket of unassimilated humans. Melanie's consciousness, however, has not been completely eliminated. She and the Wanderer carry out an internal conversation and debate with each other, eventually becoming friends. See, because they want you to merge with these demons. Because once you merge with these demons and you're confirming that you're giving up your dominion to them, and it doesn't have to be like an actual talk where it's like, oh, well, yeah, I want you here. I want you there. No, it's through action. It's through your thoughts. You see what I'm saying? So that's just really what it is. Let me get to Oz, right? The land of Oz, right? Because that's what she was trying to get to, Dorothy, right? To the land of Oz, right? To hell, right? She's going back, Eve going back, traveling back to meet her maker. That's really what it is. Eve traveling back. Well, should I say second generation Eve, or second, third, fourth generation Eve, right? Because they like to show different versions of Eve, to show how Eve throughout the generations still is falling and still being used, like I said, as the billboard for Satan's mistress. And she's used symbolically as the whore of Babylon. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying the female-esque sense, you know what I mean, of that. It still gives, like I said, credence to what happened in the garden. That's why Satan, like I said, he props her up, but also he tears her down. Mythical land in L. Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, I Promise You Guys I'm Done, in sequels, according to an anecdote written by Baum in 1903, inspired by a 3-drawer desktop cabinet letter file, the last drawer labeled O through Z. Okay? As Australian slang for Australia. Attested 1983. So look at all these words that's related to Oz. Munchkin. Okay? We already explained what that is, right? We know what that is. Ounce in mathematics, right? Part of a pound, early 14th century, from Old French once, or unce, or uno, meaning one. That's why it says Oz, right? Remember when she went and then she found out all of them, all her demons that she had collected with her, spirits, the multiple personalities, okay? Excuse me, y'all. They then sitting up there and they find out that he was a counterfeit. Satan tells him like, oh, ha, 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 you were tricked. You were tricked and you're in hell. You understand what I'm saying? It's just that like obvious, thing where Satan plays on the psyche of mankind. There's a saying that says that the biggest trick that Satan played with the world is that he didn't exist. Well, I argue that the biggest trick that Satan played on the world was that because the people do believe that he exists, they worship him subconsciously. You understand what I'm saying? Without even knowing that they're doing it consciously, which makes it even more dangerous. But he has convinced mankind that he is, in fact, he is the ruler of this world. I lost my train of thought with that. Dang, I should have never said that. But you guys get the gist of it. I stand where I stand with that. From Latin unicia, 1/12 part of a pound, a foot, etc. From Latin unus or unos, remember one. Oi, no, one, unique, right? You see this? A small quantity. It always has to do with mathematics. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to. It says, for a small quantity also used in Middle English as a measure of time. 7.5 seconds, okay? And length about 3 inches, okay? In figurative expressions, if you add 7 plus 5, that's 12. In numerology, that's 3. If you add 1 plus 2, that's 3. And then you add that with about 3 inches. I'm just saying, this is they love to put all of that. There's truth in the numbers that they put. Okay, that's 33. Okay, that'll tell you right away. Oz, 33, Masonic. In figurative expressions and proverbs, an ounce of X is compared or contrasted with a pound of Y from 1520s. XY chromosome. Yeah. Here we go. Look. Wildcat. Ounce. Once. Lynx. Remember the cat thing? Remember I told you guys the cat thing? Lynx-like. Okay? Spotted wildcats. Now mainly used as the mountain panther or snow leopard of Asia. Okay, look at this. Smart. To cause pain. To suffer pain. This is spot on. Look, I cannot make this up. This is their stuff. This is their language. You understand? Reference to wounds from Proto-Germanic smarta or Sparta. Makes you think about that as well. Smerzen, German, to pain, originally to bite. A snake's bite. Once bitten. Vampirism, all that. Undead, like, come on now. To bite. Bite into. To pain, cause hurt. Extended from Proto-Indo-European root myrrh, to rub away harm. See? Not to rub away harm, just to rub it away? Okay. Ain't that what the psychiatrists are doing? Right? Yeah, they want you to rub away your pain. Act like it doesn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? Thus, so you can continue to be used by demons. Usually a lively, pugnant, local pain. Smarting. Because guess what? Satan is the most cunning beast of the field. Market. A meeting at a fixed time for buying, selling livestock. Remember I keep telling you guys? See, all this, it's just, come on, this is everything that I just talked about. How they love to use the animals as a form of symbolic slaughter. You see what I'm saying? Beastly nature. You see? That's why, like I said, the civilizations over the epochs have worshipped animals for that reason. Old English, brisan, to crush, pound, injure by a blow, which discolors the skin. Leprosy, bruise. Make you think about leprosy, all that type of stuff. Smash, to break. And it says, I wrong. Break up. I wrong. I hurt. Brenton Brezel. War. Manna. Hello. Pilgrim. A person traveling to a holy place as a penance or to discharge some vow or religious obligation. That's why the witch gave Dorothy those slippers. You understand what I'm saying? Because she had been accepting of her damnation. That is to say that she was accepting of her trauma, and she was going to live on to celebrate that. Gave her those slippers, and then she went on to see her maker and become an Eastern Star. It's not funny, but I just want you guys to understand this stuff. Like, they not fooling me. And I just want y'all to understand that. They're not fooling me, and please don't let these people continue to fool you. And stop letting your children be so glamorized by this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Turn that TV off, they ain't gonna die. Take that phone from them, they ain't gonna die. You understand what I'm saying? Symposium. Convivial meeting for drinking, conversation, and intellectual stimulation. Right? People want to hear things that make them wet behind the ears. Okay? Babblings from the ascended masters. That's why they call themselves that. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's knowledge that's been collected over the epochs, that's to say generations, right? From these demons. Drinking companion. There we go, drinking. You see, all this is tied into the land of Oz, and that's why I had to go ahead and make that parallel with Alice, because it's the same thing. Same exact thing. Posis, a drinking from stem of Aeolic ponen to drink. The symposium usually followed a dinner for the Greeks. They always go back to that. The Greco-Roman time did not drink at meals. Its enjoyment was heightened by intellectual or agreeable conversation, by the introduction of music or dancers, and by other amusements. The sense of meeting on some subject in from 1784, reflecting the Greek fondness for mixing wine and intellectual discussion. The modern sense is especially from the word being used as a title for one of Plato's dialogues. That bastard. Greek plural is symposia, and the leader of one of a symposiarch, 1600 in English, relates it to symposiac, symposiole. Okay? You can't make this stuff up, y'all. I cannot make this stuff up. Not at all. So, all I say to y'all is this. Trauma is not something that you should celebrate. Okay? Because we all are dealing with trauma as it pertains to the reality given to you. And the reality that you will, in fact, in some sense, help manipulate. That's the reason why the New Age people want for you. They always go back to the past, right? They always refer back to the past. They want you to reference the past because Egypt, Sodom and Egypt, right? They reference the past because of that, right? Because these are still the same fallen angel spirits that live on through them. You understand? That's the reason why they always got them referencing the past, because they want you to do the same thing. Open up your third eye, all of that. And I told you guys that stuff is all linked to demonic possession, because once you open up your third eye, that's exactly what you're doing. They want you to open up your third eye to try to travel back to the past, right? Which you're not really traveling, but you're just getting information that's already in your DNA, having access to that. But the demons allow for that, because that's who's feeding you this knowledge. You understand? And then they got people up here thinking that they're actually oracles. You know what I mean? People who are, well, they're oracles of devils. So I'll say that. They're oracles of devils. You understand? But they got people thinking that they're real prophets and that they're really getting Rhema words and stuff like that, but they're really not. They're just getting words from devils, whispers. And that's exactly what it is. So trauma is not something that you should try to celebrate. Trauma is not something that you should try to hide. Trauma is not something that you should just ignore. You have to deal with it. Whatever it is that you've dealt with, you don't have to tell me, you don't have to tell nobody else. But at the end of the day, you do have a testimony. So you're within your testimony, you must profess, you understand, and proclaim. And you must clamor about how Mashiach and how he has delivered you, how he has been holding your hand on this journey. You understand what I'm saying? Leading you down that narrow path, because you have to help other people. You understand what I'm saying? You get great rewards, and it wipes away a multitude of sins when you do that. I'm saying when you give charity. You see what I'm saying? And that's just really what it is. You're talking to somebody who'd been there and done that. That does not mean that I figured it out. It just means that I figured out how to overcome my reality and beat this and overcome my flesh. You understand? And how to not fall prey to the demons that's been assigned to me. And to not become my forefathers, the wicked ones, and do what they did. Peace and blessings to my sisters and brothers scattered across the four corners of the earth, and to the stranger who has maligned themselves with us, who has also become our sisters and brothers. You guys have a good day. I do not, of course, observe any of these pagan days, and I don't think you should either. Even if you guys have children, because here's the thing, I'm not gonna even do that, because a lot of people think, oh, well, you don't have children, so you shouldn't even be speaking on that. Well, that doesn't mean anything. You understand what I'm saying? Because I have nieces and nephews, and I've been more of a parent to them than they actual parents have been, especially in attempting to instill and teach them the ways of the Most High Yah. You see what I'm saying? They won't even do that. So I know what is required because of the scriptures and the word and what it says. I don't need children to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't take care of people's children because they wouldn't take care of their own. You hear what I'm saying? So I want folks to understand, I didn't already dealt with my trauma. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't already been vocal about the stuff that I've went through. That's why I don't play about this stuff. I don't. Child development is serious. And I think that anyone who decides to lay down in bed, especially if you are so damn irresponsible, you understand what I'm saying? Know what the costs are going to be when you bring a child through the gates. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're preparing them for hell, their own cycle of hell. I'm not saying to stop having children. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that count the costs. Be smart about it. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Because the truth is that when you have a child irresponsibly like that, and you are a person who have not dealt with your trauma, and you ignoring the fact that you are traumatized or it's in your blood, and you are dealing with animating spirits, if you ignore all of that and then you still bring a child through, your child is going to suffer that. We already know this. So that's going to be your fault. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be your fault. And the best thing that you can do is to get yourself together so that you can get your child together. Because if you're not together, your child ain't going to be together. And oftentimes, it'll be a switch where the Most High will allow for your child to be the one to correct your ass and get you right. I'm done preaching. Y'all be well. Like I said, if you're a person who celebrates that, and if you not, and you keep the Most High's commandments, and you keep his feast days, you understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't suggest that you still have an Easter egg hunt for the kids. For what? You're still taking part in that. That's what that foolish hair represents. Rebirth, right? All of that. Excuse me. I'm done preaching, y'all. I'm done. I know this was long. I'm going to try to chop this up. If I don't, then it is what it is. But, it is here. It'll be up there. If you need to, pause it. If not, then don't listen to it. It's fine, because I just had to talk about this. It was on my heart. The Most High put it on my heart, and I had to bring this out. I'm done. I love y'all. Be well.